when you get grease, is that like a, oh my gosh, pinch me moment?
Definitely was. You know what? I found out I booked it on Christmas Eve. It
Really?
was the best Christmas present I think, yeah, I might have ever had. It's mind-boggling, and I'm so grateful to have been able to work on it.
Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two, the podcast, as always, hosted by me, Chris. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 506 of the podcast. Phenomenal episode for you all today. But I got to talk about castingfor2.com. It's a website that I own, and it'll take you anywhere you want to go. So if you listen to the podcast on a different service, boom, it's there. Or if you want to take a gander at my the pod shop, I got some new goodies in there, along with some Pride Month stuff in there, and I recommend everyone go check it out. Prices are marked as low as I can go because I don't care about making money. I just want you all to look good, okay? I make your podcast feed look good, so now it's time for you to look good as well. Castingfor2.com. My guest today is a phenomenal just actress and singer and dancer and human being, and just I just had so much fun chatting with her. Kallie Hu is on the podcast, and she can be seen right now in a little show called Grease: Rise of the Pink Ladies, and it's such a fun show. I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to chat with her, and I just go check out the interview, watch the show. You're gonna have a good time, all right? But I'm done talking. Okay, everybody, sit back, relax, and Kallie, take it away. How's your day going so far?
Pretty good, pretty good. I just got off the day job. I work as a user experience designer in tech, so we're working on this big project right now. So just shifting gears a little bit.
Yeah, is it hard to be shifting gears from like, okay, I got this, then now I got to go to acting, then oh wait, I got to finish this project. Oh no, I have an audition. Like, is it taxing on you?
You know what? It's it's fun.
Okay.
I do, yeah, it is a bit taxing, the sunk cost of your brain shifting from one to the other. But I'm sure you're familiar with it. I know I see that you do like business management or business development yourself.
No, I
No.
I do a bunch of stuff. It's whether it's in sales, or I did a social media consultant. I did video editing. Just a lot of the. And for a brief moment, I did cybersecurity. So
Hmm.
I can totally understand. Working a day job for a standard shift, being
Mhm.
fried, and then okay, now I got to do this creative thing. Let's go.
Yeah.
Um, that there, and I used to with the job, I used to have to record late at night. So already
Mm.
my brain is just it's somewhere else, and I would always just apologize because I'm just like, I don't know where I'm gonna go with this. So sorry in advance, and let's go. So
Yeah, definitely.
but just kind of having that ping pong effect. Do you feel like you've ever just used something from your day job in your acting, whether it be like an audition or like a character trait, anything like that?
Oh, all the time, yeah.
Yeah.
All the time. I used to work sales as well.
Mm.
Um, and talking with so many different clients, like the different demographics you'll reach out to, talking to your boss, the way you talk to someone who's of your like same stature. I use a lot of that, like the power dynamics
Okay.
that I learned from the day to day. I have a little bit of a coding background too. So like if I ever have to do something to like that's like techie,
Yeah.
I can always lean on that. Something more scientific. I have a background in like cognitive systems and stuff, so I can just always lean on my knowledge of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice.
So if there's ever a role that requires somebody hacking the mainframe, you're like, yeah, I can actually do that. Let's go.
Not really a more front end, but I mean, I can make it look realistic.
There we go. Yeah, it's always funny to me. I was watching the second Iron Man, and
Mm,
what's his name? What is his name? The main villain, Mickey Rourke.
mm.
Yeah, there's that scene where he's controlling the drones and typing on the computers, and in my head, and I don't want to be mean or anything, but I'm just like, he's not typing anything. He's just hitting the keyboard. There's no words happening here. He's just like, come on, what are you doing? But
Yeah.
I think that way whenever I see somebody acting, I just like, what are they typing? Or are they just hitting the keyboard just to make it look like they're hitting the keyboard?
Mm-hmm. I don't blame them. Like when you get to set, there's always like a million things going on. You're like,
Yeah.
stand here, lean this way. It's understandable. But because if you have that background beforehand, it just makes it a lot easier to just be like, okay, at least I got that covered. I don't have to think about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Here I'm gonna do some HTML coding, doop doop
Mhm.
doop doop, and done. Yeah, no, I get,
Yeah.
I get it. But I'm curious because having seen your background and hearing a little bit more, I'm just curious. When did you catch that acting bug?
Yeah, for sure. Are we already recording, by the way?
Oh, oh yeah, oh yeah. We are in it.
Oh my God, we're in it. Hi. Okay, cool.
That's another right when it starts. We go.
Oh, love that. Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Yeah. What brought me into acting?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my story began as a dancer. I started at the age of 4, ballet, tap, jazz, everything. Enrolled in a fine arts preschool, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and during this, I got to explore different types, and I had this one ballet teacher who was super strict, so I ended up not loving it very much
Mm-hmm.
when as a kid.
Yeah.
I ended up crying a lot, that little brat's like, I don't want to go. Uh, and then I just started getting better and better and found it a strength. So performing has always been a thing for me. In high school, I joined the drama club, but I was too busy dancing to really
Mm.
join. So I was cast in the equivalent of tree number 2.
Nice. Very good. Very good. Why is
Yeah,
that?
for me.
Why won't that tree stop dancing?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. I'm moving or I'm doing something in the background. I was that kid.
Yeah.
And then university came along. I was working, or I just studied and studied and studied. One regret I do have in university is going through it too quickly.
Mhm.
I would have loved to do exchange or a co-op or something, to really just find myself a bit more. But I was hoping to find myself as in Spain because I got accepted to a 1 year's master program in Spain, in Barcelona.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. The summer after, or summer I graduated,
Mhm.
I got accepted right away and started in September. However, an open call for Disney's Descendants 2 came along in August.
Mm.
Like August, I was like, you got Kenny Ortega, you've got Tony Testa, who I looked up to
Yeah.
since I was in high school. I was like, I have to go for this,
Yeah.
and and I did, and that changed everything. So I am now working, like 7 years later, working in the industry as a dancer and actor. That stint of me working on Descendants 2, I did find an agent serendipitously, answered another open call.
Mhm.
Open calls work, people, sometimes. And he just found me and sent me to this pop soda commercial. I had no clue what it was about. Went in, did a thing, came out, and he's like, "Do you want to join my roster?" And yeah, we're many years after, we're here and we're having a freaking great time.
It's always funny because when I went to film school and there was that thing of, hey, you graduated. Cool. Now what do I do? And then it was just like, okay, now go figure it out. And
Mhm.
I had nowhere to, like, no idea how to start or anything like that. So I checked, Craigslist and just any place that was just, oh, we need a cameraman, we need a blah, blah, blah. And, I
Mhm.
was just like, sometimes the projects are like legit good ones, and then you can get noticed and keep on working up the chain. And I'm glad to hear that you did the casting call worked, the open call worked for you.
Thank you. Yeah. It's that hustle. I think
Mm,
Simu Liu back in the audiobook was like, yeah, he just answered every Craigslist ad, just like did as much background work as he wanted as possible,
yeah,
just to get it, right? And that's usually where you start.
I oh man. And then so did you film Descendants 2 in Victoria at all?
I see that you studied there.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, we
I
did. Yeah.
Whenever I see that castle, I'm just like, oh, hey, Victoria.
Oh.
And any kind of medium movie, I'm just like, oh, that castle. Oh, I've walked around there.
Is, is that where you studied? I know it's a school.
Yeah, well, yeah, I studied in Victoria at a film school that no longer exists. But
Oh.
yeah, I went there and I had such a good time. And that's like that. I love British Columbia. And yeah, there's always a soft place in my heart. And if I could, I would live there to this day.
Oh,
So.
oh, you should come back
Okay, you know what?
up.
On my way. No, oof, immigration is just a pain, and it was a pain years ago. I'm assuming it's still a pain, or maybe not. I don't know. I should look into it. But yeah, and so well, and then just kind of going back and with the dance background, it did that. I'm assuming with dance, there's a certain level of I don't know, discipline that you have to do it. Is that fair
Yeah.
to say?
Yeah. So much discipline. It's a bit nutty. You get so there's these like giant communities that you just dive into. It's hard not to put one foot in. Yeah, it's such a positive community, and you learn so much, and you make such great friends that you sometimes just like both feet in, jump in. You find a sort of family within some of the groups, and it becomes really entrenching. It becomes your life for a little while,
Mhm.
and the discipline is you need to make sure that you're always improving and you're going to classes. And a big saying when growing up for me was like, can't I have danced? Can't I have danced? Can't I have danced?
Ah,
And I never really got to hang out with my friends a lot back
yeah.
then. And there are echoes of that and what the ramifications are nowadays. But I wouldn't have traded it for the world. I feel like I'm experiencing things that I wouldn't have dreamed of if I hadn't followed dance.
Mhm. It's professions like dance and others are escaping me, but the ones that are so physical, it's amazing. And just hearing how disciplined you are. Like Patrick Swayze was super into dance, and
Mm-hmm.
among of course among other people, but there comes a point when it's just like, oh, I can't do that anymore. I can't do the moves, and I just feel like I don't know. It must be crazy just because oh no, my bones crick, my knees has this click, stuff like that, and it's just like oh no wonder a lot of like yourself is just like what, art is art. Let me do this acting thing because I mean discipline in dancing I'm assuming has to carry again. I don't want to assume. I assume a lot, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. It carries over into the acting world, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, my coach, I love her, Deb Podolsky. She's just like she loves training. Oh, she said once that she liked to train athletes and
Mhm.
dancers because you apply that same discipline over
Yeah.
across the terrain, and you just know what it takes
Yeah.
to commit yourself to something fully. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, and yeah, again, athletes like of course, like dancing should be in the Olympics. I'm just gonna throw that in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like it's so hard. Again, I don't know the world, but from other people, it's very hardcore. And again, like it's nonstop training, and it's just like, oh my gosh, there should be a dancing Olympics. Um, Although, what isn't like I don't know. You know what? I have no idea about the Olympics. So I'm not going to even start about it. But so when you transitioned into acting, and I see that you've just worked on a bunch of wonderful projects, and obviously, Vancouver, there's tons of good projects that are going on there. When
Yep.
you
Hmm.
get Greece, is that, I don't want to say a dream come true, but for dancing and musical people, like Greece is, not the pinnacle, but I would easily say like in the top. Is that just kind of like a, oh my gosh, pinch me moment?
Definitely, definitely was. You know what? I found out I booked it on Christmas Eve.
Really?
It was the best Christmas present I think, yeah, I might have ever had. It was it is something, it's just such an iconic story that
Mm.
ripples throughout generations. That's it's like, as a dancer, there's no way you couldn't be excited about it, right?
Yeah.
Uh, we're going to Sundance this year, and this family came up to me. They found out I was in the upcoming series, and they said, "We're a Grease family. The first movie my children ever watched was Grease, and I wouldn't have married my wife if she wasn't a Grease fan. We love Grease." And that's just only across two generations right there, right? So maybe
Yeah.
you don't know about their parents. The next generation after that, it's mind-boggling, and I'm so, so grateful to have been able to work on it, you know?
Yeah, and well, and then so Grease families. My family was a Grease family. My
Oh,
sister acted in high school. She played Jan in
oh.
the school play, and my girlfriend, who a theater person, she played a pink lady number whatever,
Mhm.
because there's so many students that they were just making up characters, but still she was in it, and I'm just like, like, I don't. It's so crazy just because this property has been around for a while, but it's so catchy, and yeah, it's just amazing about the things that really connect us, um,
Mhm.
and with media, and yeah, and so I was super excited to chat with you about it. Just because, I mean, it's Greece, like that. That's all I have to say. It's Greece.
Agrees.
It's Greece. Come on. If you don't know, then I'm sorry. What's the matter with you? Uh, but as far, and this is a question that I normally ask people, like, what is there a T-bird or a pink lady that you identify with?
Oh, I love that question.
See, I used to ask that before this, so I'm just like, oh,
Really?
finally, an appropriate time to ask this question.
That is great. You know what? I changes now,
Yeah.
but back in high school, I will have to say it was probably Sandy. I was a
Mm.
pretty goody two shoes nerd. I never towed the line. I was very, very like, right track, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So back then it was definitely that. Right now, ooh, that one's a hard one. I have to get back to you. I need to think about it. It might be an
That,
amalgamation
yeah,
of a couple.
you know what? That's fine. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Sometimes I'm like, I feel like a Frenchie, but I do get
Hmm.
Jan. I like the being silly, uh,
Hmm.
But of course, now that I'm older, like staying out till what, 7 o'clock, like Sandy, I'm just like, nah, not anymore. I'm sorry. I'm in bed by 7 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
need to introduce an old character for us oldies. That's all I'm saying. Just like, what? I don't feel like really getting into danger. I just want to wear the jacket. Well, I'm gonna go to sleep now.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Just wrap yourself in the jacket.
Exactly. Yeah.
Uh,
Is anybody else cold? Yeah. It's not it's like a shawl more than a jacket. Just wrap yourself.
exactly.
I think I don't know if you have any pull, but can you pitch that? Uh, you know, if you can pitch,
The
yeah, I don't want any credit. You can have all the credit. That's fine. But just
uh,
yeah,
wrap- pink lady shawl,
yeah,
like
yeah,
wrap yourself in.
yeah.
Ooh,
And get rid of the jackets. Get the shawls. Let's
just
do it.
multi-purpose. Wear it any which way. You will have to model them. as a skirt as well as a shawl.
Yeah.
Only I will only do it if you agree to those parameters.
Done and done. Where do I sign?
Okay.
Here, I'm not an actor, but I do possess the ability to commit hardcore. So I will commit to this. However you
Yeah.
need me, I'm in.
Oh, I appreciate that. I love people who go all in. It's great.
I, I mean, yeah. There's no point. I mean, just if you're gonna commit, commit. Especially if it's dumb and funny. Let's
Oh
go.
yeah, definitely. That's too short.
Exactly. But so in just kind of going along with everything, I'm curious. Seeing again that you've been working. Again, you have some good projects. I'm curious. Do you have any audition fail stories?
Oh, so many. I don't even know where to start with that. Oh, audition fail stories. You know what? Yeah, I do. This is really embarrassing, and I wonder if they're listening now. I was in a callback,
Mm-hmm.
and we're a pretty like like a supporting lead on a new movie coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the first time I was pretty green back then, and I went in. Um, and the setup for callbacks are always so interesting. You go in, you have a billion people, you don't know why they're there. Some people are eating a sandwich, some people are like really tuned in, and you're like, okay, cool, I like the tuned in person.
Yeah.
But the people who are making the decision are behind this giant monitor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can't always see them, and you don't know if they're looking at you or they're looking at their notes or looking at the screen
Mm-hmm.
that is projecting you on the screen. And I remember in the audition, the first audition in the room when everything was in the room, before the callback, I went in and I remember the casting director like really enjoying it. I could feel that they really enjoyed it. It was a really warm room, as we say.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in for the callback and it felt like a really cold room. And I was doing my thing and they're like, oh yeah, can you just do your thing? And so I did my thing. And then it got really quiet and I said something and then said something by accident and I kind of spazzed out. My acting teacher sometimes calls me a spaz because like if I freak out, it's like, oh, like, and my go-to move is doing the robot.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh
All
yeah.
right.
It's my awkward move is doing like the mini robot. It doesn't even look like the robot. It's just like a really bad interpretation of the robot. And so I started doing it,
Yeah.
not realizing that the producers are watching me do it through the screen. And it's just so awkward. It's just complete silence, and you just have this really nervous girl just roboting every which way.
Yeah.
And then, oh gosh. And they're like, okay, thank you. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. Okay, bye. So yeah, so I've gotten much better in
Yeah.
terms of walking to the room since then. But yeah, that's definitely one of those stories right there.
Yeah, oh, man. I'm sorry, but but also I do want to see the like glitchy robot with a eater. Like I'm curious, to see what that's all about.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be in a blooper somewhere someday on set, and you're just like, oh, there it is. That's like it doesn't even look like it. It's like,
Okay. So isn't it weird that there's like this Hollywood like bank of bloopers for auditions for every single like SAG officiated movie that's you're also a part of it, so that's got to be cool in some way.
oh yeah, I love bloopers. I love watching the ones from The Office.
Oh yeah.
So good.
It's always interesting, yeah, watching those and just seeing what people who we know of today like go for different roles, and it's like, oh my gosh, you wanted to be like Adam Scott wanted to be Jim Halpert. Interesting.
Mm, mm,
Stuff like that. Yeah, no, it's also interesting.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I remember, again, I'm not an actor, but I wanted to get into acting. And there was this role where they wanted me to play a drug dealer. And
Ooh.
I don't know drug dealers. I've never met one that I knew of. I've never
Mhm.
purchased drugs. So I was just like, I mean, I saw Pineapple Express. Is that how a drug dealer acts? I don't know. Um, but it was very much a hard, a hard person. And I just felt like I'm too jolly for this. I like to have fun. I like to be sarcastic. So I went in, read the lines, everyone tuned out. And I was like,
Mm.
okay, well, I'm not getting this. So they said, if I wanted to do it again. And I said, yeah, sure, I can do it again. Um, so right before,
Okay.
so I'm about to go again, and I said, you know what? Let me wake some people up. So I threw down the clipboard that I had on the floor,
Yes.
jolted everybody up, and then I just started going.
Uh-huh.
And then I and then and then I was like, okay, thank you, and I laughed on my way out just because I thought, what excuse my language, what balls I must have,
Uh-huh.
where I'm
Uh-huh.
just like, yeah, let me just do this, whatever, who cares, and leave.
Testicular fortitude, yeah.
Yeah, it and so I'm I'm again not an actor, but I'm very interested in auditioning.
Hmm.
It's weird. I don't want to necessarily get the parts, but I just want to just go and see what it's like. Just live that life of auditioning.
Nice. Did you get the part after that?
Oh no, oh, of course not. No. No. No way. No. And again, I don't blame them because I'm just like ugh, I wouldn't know what it's I can't recall, memories or like my dream role is the best friend of the best friend of the best friend. I'm like,
Interesting.
just let me be that person where it's just like, yeah, we can cut him. Who cares?
Oh.
Like that's the kind of role I want.
Interesting. Oh, okay.
But one day, maybe not. Who knows? But and then the question again that I love to ask people, and there's no right or wrong question answer, I should say. What does acting mean to you?
Mm, this is a lovely question. I'm taking a moment to think about it because I want to give you a good answer.
Of course. Yeah, no worry. Again, no right or wrong answer. I'm just very curious to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. Acting to me is this beautiful ability to establish empathy for someone else
Mm,
by becoming them in a way,
mm,
by exploring the depths and the limits of a human being's emotions
mm,
safely in a way that, you wouldn't be able to always do in real life, right?
yeah.
Uh, Acting for me is not therapy, but it is therapeutic. It's caused me to really look into myself and when you have a script and you're like, oh, I'm this doesn't feel true to me, or this feels like I have a big blocker here, why can't I get there emotionally?
Hmm.
You have to look into yourself and be like, well, okay, what are my triggers, what are my blocks, why is this here as it is? And as a user experience designer, I always ask why. I always
Mm,
love to understand how people work, and my degree was in cognitive systems, so we specialize in understanding the brain and cognition, and that has always sparked my interest and intrigue. So acting for me is a way to explore all of that while still getting to perform. I've always loved performing. That flow state
hmm.
during performing, when you're on stage or with a scene partner, that is the best feeling in the world, the absolute best feeling.
I love that very much, and I love the fact that the answer I never get the same answer twice, but hearing that you really like to ask questions and just kind of uh, study of the brain and stuff like that. Do you ever want to get past acting? Maybe do directing?
Hmm. That's a really good question. Uh, I thought of producing. I did produce like a couple of shorts way back.
Mm-hmm.
Directing, maybe. I feel that I would need a better understanding of cinematography first.
Mm-hmm.
I would want to know, I want to have a more technical prowess before even attempting in
Mm-hmm.
that direction. I've been trying to write a little bit more because I feel it's important for everyone's story to be told. I actually ran into at Sundance the writer of Kim's Convenience, like completely
Oh,
out of the yeah, he's amazing.
yeah.
Um, and just he was like, "You have a story that needs to be told." He barely knew me, just like you have a story that needs to be told. Write it, and then see where that goes. Everyone should write something.
Mm-hmm.
That really inspired me. So I've been digging, I've been observing, listening, and seeing where that goes. So who knows? Maybe yeah, maybe through story writing would be the big one. Directing, if I had a story that I was really passionate about, and I had more of a grasp on the cinematography or technical aspect of
Mm-hmm.
things.
I totally believe that you can get there. No problem. Also, there's so many cinematographers that are just like, yeah, I can help you out or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I full confidence that you can do that. But
Oh, thank you.
of
Thank you.
course, and again, hopefully, um, so you're writing like something about your life story, or just something totally different, like a different kind of story.
Oh yeah. It's fun. I love dark comedy.
Mm,
So I've been like look diving into the realms of that. But comedy is very, very hard to write.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, being truthful and having things repeated over and over, but still be funny is so interesting.
Mm.
It's super, early stages and whatnot, but it would be like some dark comedy slash. I really like sci-fi as well,
Oh, okay.
and like things like that. So like if I could work on a project, it would be like The Last of Us or The Boys or Gen V. Something that is real but
Hmm.
still pushes things in the boundaries. So if I could get one of my projects to something of that level or those kind of genres, that would be freaking amazing.
It's yeah, no, I like comedy is one of those things that I remember. Have you ever heard of the streaming platform Shudder?
Shudder,
Yeah,
no.
it's a horror based streaming app where they have nothing but scary movies and shows and stuff like that. And do I like scary movies? Sure. I mean, I watch them, but it's not like I'm a horror person. I just enjoy them because I feel like there's a lot of creativity that goes into it, and a lot of them are just super low budget, which is just like, oh, cool. But anyway, they have their comedy horror side, and I
Hmm.
can't do comedy horror if I'm going to sleep, just because my brain starts analyzing the comedy bits,
Oh.
and I'm just like, okay, what? That's funny. Why is that funny? And so
Hmm.
that's where I take the, because I too love comedy so much, and
Yeah.
I want to know why things are funny. And honestly, sometimes it's just like it just is. There's no question. But you know, yes, to backtrack on your statement of comedy is hard. Yes, it is.
Oof,
It's
so hard.
so crazy, and it's hard to say what works and what doesn't work. And yeah, no, good luck, and I am totally interested in reading it if it's ever completed. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll have to let you know.
Yes, thank you. But for the people at home who would like
Mhm.
to keep up with everything that you're doing,
Yeah.
follow you online, stuff like that, where can they do all that?
Yeah. It's at Instagram at Kallie Hu underscore. So KALLIEHU underscore. Not Kelly Who. I get that sometimes.
Mhm.
And then I have a website, www.kalliehu.com.
There we go. Callie, thank you so much for chatting with me. Just enjoyed it very much. And in any time you want to come back on the podcast, just say the word, okay?
Oh, thank you, Chris. I would love to. It's been
Fantastic.
a pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
Fantastic. But I'll let you go. Have a good rest of your day, and keep staying safe and healthy. All right.
You too. You too.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Cheers, Chris. Bye.